Power to Truth with Leon Kokotse, JJ Tabane. We're coming to you live from Tabane, out in the Eastern Cape, hosted by the Nelson Mandela University and the Nelson Mandela University Choir, ushering us into this important debate about the future of the Nelson Mandela Bay. Avulekile Masang, Avulekile na. We should ask the question, are we headed for a good future, or are we headed for doom? And tonight, various parties represented here, the Congress of the People represented by Mzwandile Mkonyeni. Please, let's welcome him. Ngaba Banga from the Democratic Alliance, please welcome him. Kuseli Jack, who represents AIM, as well as Luyolo Ngakula, who represents the ANC. Welcome. Gentlemen, welcome. We're going to have a very, very interesting discussion tonight. By the way, you must stay tuned because we're going to go up to 9:30 tonight, so you must put that coffee right there to make sure you don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial here on channel 403. I want to go to our panel of experts. Tonight I've got Professor Brett Shaw from the University, Nelson Mandela University, Dr. Van Heerden from the Deputy Vice Chancellor out at the University of Fort Hare, as well as Professor Butlungu, who's the Vice Chancellor at Fort Hare as well. And my panel is going to try to make me understand what we are dealing with. Let me start with you, Professor Brett Shaw, and just tell me a little bit about, yes, please do use that microphone, about how you've experienced the elections. What's your own assessment of the state of democracy? You know, I was asked earlier on by some of my colleagues in Johannesburg, you know, what is the vibe in Gqeberha? Are people, you know, going out there to vote, or are people despondent? Or is there going to be a terrible turnout? What's your overall assessment of the election at the moment, Prof?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but In general, I think that people are pretty despondent, as we'll discover from the discussions which are going to flow. That there are many problems in the metro, and these. Obviously, we're looking to the candidates to give us the solutions to that. The excitement is starting. There is excitement. It is starting. The posters are getting out
So
there.
people are not despondent.
Well,
it's not your impression.
I think they're worried. I think they are despondent. But I think this makes it exciting.
Yeah.
I think the vibe is starting, and I think we're at a particular moment. Also in respect of. The country is finally balanced in many respects, and so the local government, where the people meet government and where government serves or doesn't serve them, is particularly important.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prof. And I look forward to some of your inputs during the course of the debate and some of your serious questions to the candidates a little bit. Dr. Van Heerden, coalition government, is that where we're headed for again? Last time around, there was lots of excitement, people saying, let's get a new government because all these guys who have been here forever have messed up. Is your assessment that that's where we're headed again? Or are people saying, especially in this city, where the coalition government was a bit of a mess? I think they're on their fourth mayor, or even fifth, I'm not sure, or 4.5. Mayor in 5 years, is that where we're headed again?
Well, thanks, JJ. I think that, the first round of coalition politics was a disaster because we are still trying to get used to this new way of doing politics. But I do think even though the various political parties have been saying they'll only have a coalition with this one and not with that one, at the end of the day, I think the game is wide open. And if it means 1 or 2 votes is what is required to form a majority, I think that all the parties are going to talk to each other, including the ANC and the DA.
It's your assessment, though, that people are impressed by the coalition. I mean, you had UDM with 2 seats, and they got a mayor. It's bizarre. They got 2 seats, and then they end up a mayor. And the guy is, may his soul rest in peace. But it was a disaster of a mayor, really.
No. I completely concur. I think it was disasters all around, not only in Kabeja. It was also in Tshwane and other places. It was just a disaster. Patronage politics, having to pay opposition partners to make sure they vote with you. I think that everyone still needs to learn a great deal with regards to coalition politics. But I think also just in terms of your question, I think people are excited. What's encouraging about this particular local government election is that we have a huge constituency of independents, and that's going to throw some interesting things into the mix.
Upward of 40 independent candidates, and a number of them breaking away from the ANC.
Yes.
And 1 or 2 from the DA, who are just saying, tired of the party politics. And that's what I want to ask you, Prof, to say, is there a level of skepticism? Is it too deep? For our politics, or would you say that people are still believing in a party political system?
Thank you very much. I think the backdrop to all of this is a situation where local government does not seem to have moved forward. The old patterns of, just look at the geography of the city. Certain people live in informal settlements. The inner city is totally run down, and then you have, of course, the other extreme where people, and the delivery of services mirrors that as well. And so there is, people will always be excited when there's an election coming up, but people also are skeptical. I think there's a cynicism that is deep-seated because people know that at the end of the day, very little is going to come through. And that, for me, is the issue. In a context like this, COVID just throws another thing into the mix. Because we're
and an excuse. If you ask somebody, why didn't you close this pothole? They say it was because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
You can't close the pothole because of COVID. So we're going to hear that now when we ask for a track record. Because of COVID.
Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, people know that very little is going to come out. And so yes, we're going to have the excitement now, and let the excitement come along. But at the end of the day, the crime, the unemployment, the drugs in the inner city, the drugs. I want to see I would like to see which mayor is going to get rid of the rot and the grime and the crime in the inner city.
They may have to start in council if they're going to deal with the rot. So there's going to be a big problem there. But thank you, Brasho. Before I go to the candidates, quickly, what should people be looking? I mean, do people even bother to read the manifestos of these parties? Now, let's assume they don't. What should they look out for in order for them to make a correct choice? One or two things, Prof, in your view.
I think what is important is that we don't look at general statements. They're not enough. I think we've heard the promises before. So I think we want to hear some specifics.
Okay.
And I think, and one of my advice to the candidates would be, think in terms of your first 100 days. What are you going to do to get to the end goal by the first 100 days? It's just a point. It's significant, but it's not.
So you think if somebody can tell me in a little bit of detail what I want to do in the first 100 days, I'm closer to listening to them. There are others who speak in too generic terms. We must just throw out.
That would be my advice to the voters.
Here's your advice. Oscar?
I agree with the first 100 days, but it's also about, policies, very nice policies, never gets implemented. In fact, we hear of lots of infighting. Everyone is always interested in which tender is going where. That kind of situation must come to an end. We want to see implementation. Otherwise, the next election, I think the voters are going to come out, or not at all come out, in terms of protest votes.
Prof, your view, what do you look for? Let's say you wanted to choose one of these candidates because you happen to live here.
Right.
What are you going to look for that would convince you? Because they're probably going to all promise water. I can predict they'll promise electricity. I can predict they'll promise jobs. And then you say, oh my God, they're all promising the same thing. What on earth must I do now?
It's a very difficult situation in which one has to choose because, yes, the promises, I bet you the manifestos will look very, very similar in many places. And that's going to be the difficulty for the voter. So one of the things is, and I would like to hear from these candidates, what's the game changer that you're presenting? What is the game changer? Not jobs, we've heard that before. Not stadiums, we've seen that before.
The stadiums, they're not going to talk stadiums.
Not about potholes. We've heard that before. What is the game changer that you're presenting to the voters?
Okay, fantastic. Let's give our experts there a round of applause. I think that was fantastic. And it sets the stage for us. Now, why must people vote for the ANC? 2 minutes.
Well, JJ, residents of Nelson Mandela must vote for the ANC.
They must.
They must vote for the ANC. Because the ANC has committed itself to a path of renewal. Gone are the days in the ANC where the ANC imposes candidates which are not popular upon communities. That's why the ANC has introduced a new dispensation of processes. Here in Nelson Mandela, all 60 ward candidates are a product of a voting district process. They are a product which was people-centered. Residents of Nelson Mandela Bay must vote for the ANC because throughout the 5 years, they've bear the brand of an unstable government which has been DA-led. Because the phenomena of coalition politics has been a new one in Nelson Mandela. It has destabilized service delivery. It has resulted in an unstable administration. That is why residents of Nelson Mandela must install the ANC to be the absolute political authority so that those youth advisory centers which were creating employment opportunities for young people and skilling them be resuscitated, which were done away by the DA, so that they can be...
They did away with youth centers.
They did away with youth centers. So that we're on day 0 now. I woke up without water. I had to wait for a truck in order to bath myself. So that the question of water can be resolved at a practical level by implementing the motion which had been raised by the ANC on the question of the desalination plant, not what the DA is doing here, saying we must build dams while the dam levels are very low, while we're affected by climate change.
You mustn't build more dams.
We mustn't build more dams. We must find innovative ways, such as the desalination plant, of creating alternative solutions to the water crisis that we're confronted with. People must vote for the ANC in order for there to be housing construction in Nelson Mandela.
How many houses?
They've only built 27 units in the past 5 years. They've been given 46.6 million by the provincial government. They've only submitted 15 beneficiaries. So what's going to be spent is just under 5 million. So for a capacitated government, for a stable government, for service delivery, our people must vote for the African National Congress.
All right. I wanted, before I go to a break, to ask you, this thing about you're going to go to communities and they must select the ward councillors. Can I just ask a question of clarity? Are these people members of the ANC? Or we are saying you can elect anybody as long as the community agrees?
The process,
let's say the person who's popular in that ward is not ANC member. Will you put them on your list?
I'll clarify you, Chichi.
Yeah.
The process is threefold.
Yeah.
It starts with the ward nominating BGM, which is the internal ANC process.
Okay.
All those who are a product of that process are then subjected
to the community.
Through an interview process. If 50% plus one of that particular voting district nominates Ngakula, who might then not be necessarily an ANC member, they then form part of the process. The third element becomes the VD voting process, whereby members who are on the voters' roll in that particular voting district are entitled to influence the final decision of the ANC. So if that Ngakula is not a member of the ANC, the guidelines dictate that Ngakula forms part of the process and must be made to join the ANC. That is why...
And if he refuses to join the ANC, too bad.
We've not come across that. We have not come across that. That is why we've got candidates now who are a product of that particular process. So it's a people-centered process. The ANC has subjected itself to our masses.
Thank you very much. Let's go now to the DA. Come on, acknowledge him there. All right, so why should the people vote for the DA in 2 minutes? What are the big...
You would hear the difference between the two, noise and content. When we took over this city, we turned a 2 billion debt. They put this city and the people of the city 2 billion in debt. A 650 million surplus that we have cancelled here under them. There is a book that was written because they've stolen the city. A stolen city. It was stolen in Standard House. Brick by brick. 5 of the officials of the ANC, because of the DA leadership in monitoring them, they were in court in the commission. 5, the secretary of the ANC, deputy mayor, and everybody. That's what they've done to the people of the city.
Who raised that motion of a national strategy?
We've turned this city through rating agents, AAA rating agents, into a city second to Cape Town trusted. When they were in control, they were second least trusted. These people. That's what they've done to them. They collapsed all services, service delivery to the ground, broken everything down. When I took over this city in December, National Treasury withheld 11 billion rand because of mismanagement and corruption that they've created. I negotiated myself with National Treasury to bring back the money. I made them account. 61 of the councillors who voted at Centenary for wrong decision are going to pay 2 million rand. They are unemployed now, those councillors are going to attach them. Because we must teach a councillor like me and Brakusta when it comes in him, that public purse, you don't play with it. You account for it. Those councillors are going to pay. I'm going to take even a shirt that is left of them in order for no politician to understand. In the PPEs, they've stolen 100 million rand. I made them to account, wrote to the SIU. I have a report from the SIU that was given to me. A list of ANC councillors involved there. They are going to be made account. They took a contract from Bloemfontein whilst we have a local tender to provide toilets. The SIU is about to arrest. You know what it's going to say? It's going to say, give me the forensic report. You know why you want? You want to see the names, whether his name is not there in the rules of the He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He must ask the president. He's got it. The SIU.
All right. Some for me. The bottom line. Why would people vote for you? You have been in charge. You guys were in charge of the coalition government.
Let me give you a practical example. Yesterday, I was with John Steinesen in Wat 24 run by the ANC. A veteran of the ANC, Mamum Sutu, came to me. She knows me. She said, Mr. Pang, I didn't have water for 4 years. I said, what? 4 years. You know what? I pick up a call. I started work. This morning, more than 300 people in that area have water.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Tell me quickly, before we go to a break, why would people trust that your government will be stable? You guys were in charge with Athol Trollip as mayor. The thing collapsed in your hands. You are now mayor number 3 or something. Why would people trust that there will be stability if you took over? If for example, it became a coalition you lead.
If you see in 2016,
Yeah.
things started to rise. The ANC in 2018 took over. We call it a chaos, it's become a chaos. I took over. Since December, there's been stability. Not even one single person died. When they were in government, 21 people were assassinated because of the train tender they've made.
But you had a chaotic tax. People were shooting each other last week in the streets, your taxi violence. This happened under your watch?
Shooting where?
In
They were
Coston.
shooting each other.
In Coston.
Where?
The taxi violence.
He's out of touch.
Have you intervened?
I've been there. When there was violence on
Yeah.
taxis, it's me who stopped it here. I went to negotiate with the taxi owners. I was there with Begitele himself.
Yeah.
I was there with Begitele.
Yeah.
This morning, Fikile Mbalula called another, he didn't arrive. We are about to intervene.
Fikile didn't arrive.
Didn't arrive today.
Fikile
They
was
said
there
to
at
2
11.
hours.
Yeah.
And today, I said they must come and meet because we want stability. When they were
Alright.
fighting in Tabane,
Let's pause
there was
it
no
there.
fight here.
I hear that you want to respond. You are beginning to respond to him. All right, thank you. We are on Power to Truth with Benkopose JJ Tabane. We're coming to you live from Tabane tonight, and we're interrogating the question, what is the future of the Nelson Mandela Bay? Let's take a break now. It's Power to Truth with me on Khopotse JJ Tabane. We're coming to you live from Tabane. You can also find us on the Mail and Guardian website, who are partners tonight, and they are streaming this debate online. Of course, if you missed the opening up to now, you can find it on enca.com after the show. Okay, now let's go to AIM and find out. Prakusta, people are just saying, oh no, I mean, a businessman, what does he know about running politics? He's going to fail, like Dandala, who was very peaceful at home, and then you went to grab him to say, Reverend, please come to politics. What's the switch about? Tell us what your particular party can do differently, and people can begin to say, well, let's try this new, kid on the block.
Well, JJ, Abantu Integrity Movement AIM is a residence-based movement made out of residents of the metro. We have been watching the chaotic collision running the metro one after the other, escalating the destruction of the city. And unfortunately, the African National Congress, we are aware of their wrecking ball kind of rule. But we were so disappointed in the metro when the DA came into power. Personally, at least, other people have been complaining from the beginning, from 2016. I pay attention later on. And let me tell you that the rush of destruction of property, municipal property, it sounds like it's a joke. It's unbelievable. Swimming pool of international standard are destroyed. Libraries, museums are destroyed, are lying in ruins.
Goodness.
And the whole city, if you go into the CBD, it's like a ghost city, a war zone. And
you mean like here, around here?
Yes, if you just go down here, this is our CBD.
This is
a drug den here.
Oh no.
Which if AIM comes into power, and if I secure sufficient votes, as I believe I am going to get them, I am going to make sure on day one, we will have a register of each and every little drug peddler roaming this city here. I had a big meeting today at the Great Centenary Hall. They haven't had that. These two big parties, they cannot master such a meeting at the moment as we speak. And I was there today, and I can tell you that we assured people, and we want criminals to move back now, because it's hardly a few days. Once I get that mandate from the masses, which are the voters in this case, we're going to stop this thing. We're going to stop this mess. Because I got children. I want my children's children to use Port Nelson Mandela Metro as their home. I don't care where they go, but they must know that their home is safe, secured. There are prospects of economic development for them and job opportunities. And schools for their children.
And then your track record in politics as such. I mean, we do know that. I mean, you and I tried to, form COPE, and it all fell apart. And people may say, "Oh, no, not Kusta again. He's gonna run off when it fails." The consistency there and the stability we need. Can people trust that?
JJ, let me tell you this. When I was young, I have experienced personal failure. When I followed politics of the 1970s, I was subjected to failure after failure with the new movements that we were establishing. Until in 1979, we finally got something that still exists today, COSAS. I was part of that. We formed the greatest student organization called PESCO, which controlled boycotts across the country until the then Prime Minister of the time, Johannes Foster, and his friends, they took note. In 1983, we formed a youth organization which pushed up to the end until apartheid was gone. So, Kusta Jack, or rather, Kuseli Kusta Jack, is not scared of failure. I have failed in business. I've failed at school. I've failed in politics. I will never lie down and accept this kind of a mess that is here because of fear of failure. I will fail going forward as I did before. That is what I'm going to do now.
Please, let's acknowledge him over there. Right, Mr. Prakusta. Fire and brimstone, hey. Fire and brimstone. All right. Congress of the people, should people still believe in the hope that COPE once gave this country? Why must they give Nelson Mandela Bay to you?
One, we have taken note in the last 5 years, as you say, that there has been quite a lot of political instability. One of the most important things, if you actually talk about the issue of South Africa, for example, like we talk about the high rate of unemployment, in order for us to be able to respond we need to deal with some certain issues which relates to how do we grow that economy, which is political stability, like becomes one of the internal factors in which like we can deal with as the Congress of the People to make sure that there is a stability. We have actually practiced that within the period of 5 years, where you have seen us not jumping from one political organization into another political organization.
You've practiced that way in Kabeja?
Yes, we have been part and parcel.
5 years?
Yes, in these 5 years, because like we have.
You're part of the coalition?
Yes, we're part of that coalition.
What did you achieve?
We have actually achieved all that the coalition government, for example, like we actually are talking about what Comrade Ngaba has been saying now, establishing the, or getting the report done and all that stuff. Like we actually, after the people that actually stolen the money in the Nelson Mandela Metro. So like we have actually, like we are right sitting there at this point in time, like there is, Nelson Mandela Metro, it has become the construction site. So like with all of these, we have achieved within
so you governed, you have a track record of governing, co-governing in the city.
Yes.
What is give me one achievement, man, that can excite people to say, we want to get this guy back into the office.
The people of Nelson Mandela Metro can see that there is construction that is taking place as compared it was
your particular achievement as co.
We have actually influenced policies within our partners.
You're not worried about the confidence levels. I mean, you guys are left with 2 seats in parliament.
We have actually grown up as an organization. Hence, like we have actually saying that we are proud to talk about the political instability because this is what we have actually practiced within the period of 5 years of ensuring that like we do not destabilize the governments at any
How many seats did you have in the metro?
We had only 1 seat, but like we have actually managed with that seat, like to ensure that like there is progress within the Nelson Mandela Metro.
All right. We're going to come back to you. I want each of you quickly 1 minute response or repudiation of what your colleagues have said quickly.
Well, JJ, I think it becomes important, to clarify the distortion that Ngaba is doing here on national television. You must not have a selective memory around the questions of corruption.
Okay.
It is Ngaba Banga next to me, whom Councillor Mtsila of the United Front opened a case at the Humud police station against him, alleging him of political interference with regards to supply chain processes, him and the acting city manager. It is Ngaba Banga who chooses to be a subject of an investigation and the investigator by commissioning an internal process of internal audit. It is under Ngaba Banga whereby the director of internal audit in this municipality resigns because of political pressure. It is Ngaba Banga here who refuses to take that particular process after the ANC having corresponded with them to say that you cannot be a referee and a player, subject this to external platforms and agencies which have the required capacity to assist with these matters. Now, to come back to the issue of the 21 or the social disorder in Nelson Mandela, it is as a consequence of a decision which was taken in Nangoza Jebe Council meeting. I will not come here and lie because that particular decision was taken with an intent of militating an environment of SMME development. But let me expose to you the contradictions of Ngaba Banga.
Briefly.
Now, upon that resolution being taken, resolves get implemented by officials. There's one specific official who's cited by the Auditor General's report as having been complicit in that matter. That particular official is appointed by the DA under Ngaba Banga, is the current incumbent city manager. Compromised officials, he says this thing is wrong, they appoint the very same officials.
So DA is corrupt?
They are corrupt. What he doesn't say around the rescinding of the decision, it is the ANC which proposed a document around a turnaround strategy after equitable share had been withheld in Nelson Mandela. And you must not comment, the ANC did not govern. We have an executive system here, JJJ. There's an executive mayor, there's executive authority. The ANC did not lead. You were stating here that there was a UTM with 2 seats, which had a mayor. That particular directorate, which was seized with running that process, was under the Patriotic Alliance. The CFO was from the United Front. So the ANC will not get any responsibility, but it will account
so
to
Patriotic Alliance was also part of the corruption.
Patriotic Alliance corrupt. DA corrupt.
Let's pause it there.
Corrupt.
All right. And ANC clean. Now, your chance to repudiate. Silence, please.
What I like about Mr. Ngakula, I think people of Port Elizabeth are stupid. This man standing next to me led these people in the 80s. They fought and changed this country. We are highly political conscious. What this man is saying to our people is just an egg in the face.
He must dispute with
These
facts.
are the people that they run 100 million rand. We reported them to the SIU. I don't own and run the SIU. It's independent, it's run. They came to me and reported that it's investigating 52 companies. You know what they've done? They took a company from Bloemfontein and brought it here. You know why? They wanted to buy DA councillors. There was money circulating. The SIU is acting against those people. They're trying to stop us.
So the internal audit is talking about that. How do you respond to that specifically?
The internal audit. There was a tender which was not finalized. Not finalized. It's still in adjudication.
Look at the letterhead.
It's still not. It's still in adjudication. Adjudication. They complained. The first question I asked them, the United Front. The United Front had an official that they wanted us to appoint as an executive director, which resulted that official for the housing function to be taken away by Sisulu because the ANC couldn't act. I have acted and put a new official from Stellenbosch.
But the municipal manager, just respond to what you are saying. You say your municipal manager is corrupt and you are protecting him. Is that the case? Do you know what he's talking about?
The first thing here is an investigation. They allege the municipal manager investigated it. It's in the Hawks as we speak now. It's in the SIU. I didn't lie. I put it. Now, the reason why.
Summarize.
The reason why they always pick up this issue, it's because that toilet tender is coming directly to Standard House. And it's an information I have already on the table they don't have. I can see, but they wanted me to give, I'm not going to give them to see the list of the people that are there.
All right,
they're going to see it when they go to court.
All right, I'm going to take a break. When we come back from a break, I'll give you AIM and COPE a chance to respond. And then I want each of you to tell me, in simple terms, a service delivery is a big thing, right? In simple terms, why will your party do better in as far as what you call service delivery?
Amy will tell you.
Let's take a break now. I'll come to you now. Start with you there, Brakusta. Let's take a break now. After the break, we ask the candidates what they're going to do with service delivery. And then we hear from our experts what questions they may have for the candidates in this first round. Let's take a break now. Truth with me on Khoputse JJ Tabane, special elections broadcast coming to you live from Tabane. Now, Prakusta, service delivery, or okay, before service, any response, quickly, brief response? Looks like there are two bulls fighting in the crawl here. What are you going to do?
And unfortunately, I'm not getting the chance to explain actually why is AIM going to work. AIM is going to work for a simple reason.
Yeah.
We're going to counsel with credible, capable, and honest counselors to start with. Because we make sure that we get people that are going to be able to do the job.
Yeah.
Most of our people, it's a mix of all South Africans. And we believe that we're going to use that diversity of our people as an opportunity rather than as a threat. And we're going to make sure that we use every person in the metro who is going to contribute towards rebuilding the metro.
What are we aiming?
Well, we are going to, the first thing we're going to do is that I told you the first thing that is a stumbling block to any development will be the issue of crime, which I have already spelled out. Once you set the crime issue aside, then everything else is easy to do. And then what you are going to need now is an administrator, a manager that has management skills that have been used and tested somewhere. Not somebody drawn from the school, from a university, straight away into a position of controlling 11 to 12 billion rands. And this mess that the two gentlemen are talking about, it shows that kind of weakness. You can't do it. You can be clever as much as you can. You can't survive on Googling. Experience, practical experience is king. Practical experience is king. And that is what the metro, I will do consistent application and implementation of each and every available rule in the book first. And then if it doesn't work, I will make it work first and see that we have, exhausted it, okay? And then if you need to do any other new additions or things like that, it will be because you know how it works, where it fails. When you start changing things midway, you don't even know, like these gentlemen, two gentlemen are doing. Because what has happened, my honorable friend, this one, he came in with no plan, to tell you the truth. The man is energetic, the man, he wants to work, he got everything that you need, but he has no plan. What he believes in is calls coming to him, and he runs and gets somebody, even by that matter, private plumbing company to go and do that. No, the municipality, the municipality employees and the professionals who are employed by the municipality, they are going to do the job. These guys are going to do the job of the councillors as stated in the constitution and every other document that is existing in this country.
Service delivery. Just tackle for me the issue of service delivery. Because a lot of people no longer believe the politicians. Why must they believe you that you will sort out service delivery? Briefly, please.
If we actually talk about the period of 27 years that we've been talking about the same issue of service delivery.
Yes.
It has actually became, I think it should have been exhausted this matter a long time ago. So the Congress of the People is going to make, because we believe that this is just the basic thing which constitutionally our citizens should be actually accessing at any given point in time. So we should be talking now, after 27 years, about how we actually develop the economy, having considered that the South Africa, like any other country, has actually faced so many distractions in terms of the economic development. So now what we want to make sure, that we come up with programs that would actually assist our people.
Like what?
Like, for example, we would actually, the Freedom Charter says the wealth of the country must go to all the citizens of this country. So we have actually, we believe in that.
You think people will resonate with that?
Yes, certainly. But what is actually happening now, it actually goes to a few people. Which they actually access the tenders.
But give me something practical, man, on service delivery. What can you convince me to vote COPE instead of AIM or DA?
We are saying that we are actually we are going to be establishing the partnerships that are going to be much more, that will come in the forms of cooperatives. For example, if you've got a tender of cleaning, it shouldn't be the case that like it should be given to one person. It should be that like there must be a broader participation where you have about 20 people that will actually benefit in terms of the co-op.
Cooperative, yeah.
Yes.
So it's tender
So like
for
that
all.
will actually spread, you know, like to give money back to the people, like, or perhaps like, but I'm sure
Yeah,
like you
did you
understand
do that when you were in charge of the infrastructure, the construction side you're talking about? Did you do that? Did you implement the
But
cooperative
remember,
thing?
like at this point in time, like we are saying, like we are actually getting the outright majority. So like whatever plan that we have, it's the plan of the Congress of the People.
Yeah.
So like we're not
But how
talking about the
realistic
issue.
is it
We're
to
not
get
talking
an
about the
outright majority? You had
we-
one seat.
That is why JJ,
Yeah.
like you would know this, like
Yeah.
you yourself, Kusta and Ngaba, like you've been part.
Yeah.
You've broken cope yourself.
Yeah.
However, so
What's that got to do with anything?
however, so the Congress of the People, like it's rebuilding its
Yeah.
structures, it's rebuilding itself. Like there are new
Yeah.
faces that are
Like
actually
my
coming.
friend
It's
that
growing
side.
at this point in time.
All right.
And it's growing very, very hard. That is why you actually identify leaders like myself who has actually, you know,
After
like to
you
come
left.
Yeah,
to
track
say that
record.
like we have something to offer to the people
All right,
of the
perfect.
Nelson
I'm
Mandela.
going to quickly go to the Patriotic Alliance. Please stand up, ma'am, and talk to me.
Exactly.
No, I'll hold it for you.
Oh, you
Just-
will
just
hold it for
introduce
me.
yourself.
Good evening, my name is Shuling Landur. I'm the mayoral candidate for Nelson Mandela Bay.
Yeah. Just start with him. He
For
says
the Patriotic
PA
Alliance.
is corrupt.
So, to
That's
the
what he said.
gentleman
Yeah.
in the ANC t-shirt, let me tell you something. If you say the PA is corrupt, you are more corrupt than we are because you have more seats. That is what I'm saying. This evening, I'm also feeling that the panel on top, our Nelson Mandela Bay is in dire need of ethnic leadership, of women, of female in power. Because what I can see tonight is male who have outgrown their toys, who are playing the blame game, and you are not taking accountability for what is happening in our metro. So that is why, as a Patriotic Alliance, we are coming for you, sirs. The female. I am coming for you.
Yeah. How are you coming for them? Give me one or two things that would inspire.
Let me tell you.
Inspire the people of Gqeberha.
Okay, to inspire the people of Gqeberha and South Africa. On the 1st of November, after elections, 12 o'clock, when we are in power, all illegal foreigners, undocumented immigrants will have to leave the country.
How are you going to do that?
We will
Because you're
start
not
the
in charge of Home Affairs.
We will start the processes at Home Affairs. We will do it in
12
phases.
o'clock.
Phases. No, it's not going to happen only at 12.
12,
We will do it in phases, but we will make sure that our children, their positions are secured in our country.
So you are saying, in summary, your biggest big idea is to eject foreigners.
The biggest idea is not to eject foreigners. The biggest idea is to zero all municipal debt. Because under the ruling party, we went into lockdown, into COVID, and all the tariffs were increased. If I'm correct, I sit with people in Nelson Mandela, in Uitenhage. I sit with pensioners with high municipal rates, high bills. Water bills of 56,000 rand, and how are they going to pay it on a salary of 1,800 that South Africans are giving them? The government is giving them 1,800 rand. So I'm asking, in my capacity as a first-time politician, I'm asking the leaders on the stage, how are you going to do justice to our people?
All right. Okay, thank you. Give her a round of applause over there. I think I'll just come to the audience. There's another party, Northern Alliance. Please stand up, sir. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, JJ. It's Gary van der Kerk, mayoral candidate for the Northern Alliance.
Nice to meet you.
This party came into being because of lack of service delivery in the northern areas. If you look at the panel up there, you'll see there's a lack of representation of anybody from the northern areas. Meaning, look at us. That's not diverse. That's not a diverse panel that you have up there. Like the lady just said before me, there's no women. There's no coloreds as well. No koi. Nothing of the sort. Mr. Bangari.
But should you be organizing along racial lines?
No, not along racial lines. It's just
it's just an area. It's just the area where you live.
If you look at how Port Elizabeth is structured, you have the western suburbs, you have the northern areas, and you have the townships. We come from the northern areas.
And they don't care for you.
They don't care. They care about our vote, yes.
Yeah, but
they want our vote, they don't want us.
But when they have to implement, they forget you.
They forget us completely.
Don't generalize,
Mr. Banga over there referred to about a family. I don't know if it's an area of family. He mentioned a couple of households. But he forgets that in Helenvale, not so long ago, in this year, for 5 years, Helenvale, 100 households without water. We had to contact. Sure. We are not in council. Yeah. We contacted the municipality.
It's a particular area of
It's a northern area. It's in Helenvale.
That was without the water. The others had water.
Everybody else had water, correct. But we then contacted the MMC for infrastructure. He came and he said they were never aware of it. We made them aware of it. We then contacted the media. The media came in and highlighted the issue. Those people today have water. They have water because of us, the Northern Alliance, who cares about our people in the northern areas.
So you want votes of everybody in Kabeja or just people from the northern areas?
We want votes from everybody.
Yeah, but you govern all the other areas proper.
Correct. And Mr. Banga, just one small thing quickly. In 2016, your party rallied around Trollop for Mayor. I haven't seen one board in this whole metro saying Banga for Mayor. You know what? You are a disgrace, Mr. Banga. You are a disgrace to us in Kabeja. It's the truth. You want to tell us that on your birthday, you had a motor car accident in which 2 people died, and you're still the one that admitted the fact that you had a drink that day. Please, Mr. Banga, we need the truth. We deserve the truth. We deserve better. We deserve better.
All right. Then Northern, I'll give you Banga to respond. Anybody here? Quick, you want to talk? Please stand up. Introduce yourself.
Molweni. Gamalam Guteri Stander, and I stay here in Kabeja.
Yes.
Ngaba, when you and your coalition took over Nelson Mandela Bay the first time, what did you do to turn around things? How were things, and how were they when you were ejected? And if the DA gets a majority government for 5 years, what is Nelson Mandela Bay going to look like? Because these people are saying, no, the voters, people talk about policies and manifestos. What is Nelson Mandela Bay going to look like after 5 years of a DA majority government?
All right. Prof, any question from you? You have your mic, Prof. Okay, you can use them.
Thanks. It's interesting to hear a lot of the allegations and counter-allegations and finger-pointing, etc. So one of the things I think I'm interested in is what are the specific means that candidates are going to take when they are elected to address the corruption, not only in retrospect in terms of who did what and who has to go to jail, etc., but how will you keep your administration clean?
Absolutely.
This can't happen again. This is the end of the line, in terms of it's now or never, guys. There's going to be nothing much left to save.
Absolutely.
So, like to hear it.
Thank you, Prof. Prof. Pusungu?
Thank you very much. Just to echo Prof. Brancho's comments here, at the end of the day, what we need to see is something different, turning over a new leaf, and that's what we need to see. What's the game changer? Leave the promises aside now. You're talking about doing all of these things. Where are you going to find these competent professionals? Where are you going to import them from? Where are you going to import these clean men and women of integrity who don't steal? Where are you going to get them from? Tell us, not that they're not there, but we need to assure us that you have a plan when it comes to the skilled personnel who are going to run the municipal services. You need to tell us all of these things. Fraud, what are you going to do? Remember, I hear Mr. Jack says he's going to get the inner city cleaned out and sorted. But municipalities don't do that. It's a police. Yes. It's intelligence services who are going to tell you where the drugs are, where the drug dens are.
Yeah.
What plans do you have to articulate with those agencies? I take your point, you'll do it. That's all admirable. But how you're going to articulate with others?
Thank you, Prof. Dr. Van Heerden, before I go to the panel quickly.
Thanks, JJ. I mean, one of the issues, there is obviously a lot of priorities. One of the things I want to ask, particularly to the DA, is what are your plans with regards to redress of the apartheid special morphology of the city of Gqeberha, where the poor blacks are still on the periphery, have to travel far distances to get to work, and the haves are on the beach fronts and so forth. None of you have given us an actual plan of how you are going to try and address that special apartheid special morphology, and I'd like to hear, especially because the DA put such an emphasis on private property rights and so on and so forth. Thanks.
Okay, before we go to a break, let me take 2 more questions from the audience. Okay, if you want to talk, just go to that side, this side. Okay. Please stand and introduce yourself. Come this side so I can.
Okay. My name is Tabane.
Yeah.
And I am unapologetic geographically northern areas of the Nelson Mandela.
So your microphone is down. Okay. Right.
Oh, must I repeat myself again?
No, go on.
My question is directed to the DA representative.
Yeah.
The DA says,
yeah,
the DA gets things done.
Where they govern.
Where they govern. Kama Park in Corson is a rubbish. It looks. Let me stop. But he's lying, that man there. He says they get things done.
Yeah.
The swimming pool, the shouldable swimming pool.
Yeah.
Where non-racial South African swimmers were born and bred in that shoulder swimming pool.
Yeah.
It is a heap of rubbish, but they are saying they get things done. They are lying, these blue shirts.
Yeah.
They are liars. And we are going to punish you. We are going to punish you. We are going to punish you, sir.
All right, my brother. One more.
Finish Street sports fields.
Yeah.
Finish Street under your watch. The blue shirts.
Yeah.
Finish Street sports fields in the northern areas are carried away brick by brick by brick by brick under their watch. Under their watch, and then under their watch.
All right.
And they took away security. We are going to punish you, and you, sir, you are going to account. You are an embarrassment. And the electorate of the Nelson Mandela Bay.
All right, my brother.
To punish
We've had you. Thank you. Give him a round of applause there. Thank you very much for your participation. Okay. We're gonna take. All right. After the break, we hear from a candidate, the mayor over there, under fire from a number of our participants here. We're gonna give him a chance to respond, and all the other participants. They've been asked the question: what's gonna distinguish them, and why should the people of this city vote for them? Let's take a break now. The truth with JJ Tabane. We're going to, of course, go on to 9:30 tonight. So stay tuned as we round off the discussions about the future of Gqeberha. Heated questions from the floor there. Mbanga, you're under fire. Just clarify. Gentleman there says you are not being honest about what happened with your accident and so on. I don't think you can go into an election without clarifying that. If you have done it, I'm sorry, but we just were visitors here. So just tell us what has happened. Secondly, this issue about racial classification always follows the DA somewhere. They say in Cape Town, they don't care about Khayelitsha, they care about Constantia. Now here they're saying you don't care about the northern suburbs. Deal with those two quickly with the time that you have. 2 minutes.
You see, I don't want you to be confused. I don't look white, I'm black. And I'm a leader of the DA here in the Eastern Cape. I like what Oscar is saying. The Statistics General report in 2011 says since 1994, that's the ANC government, the ANC have failed to address the apartheid spatial framework, not only in Nelson Mandela, but in South Africa in general. That's the Statistics General, it's not me. That's the ANC government, because there was no conscious decision from the ANC to address integration. One of the instruments that must intensively addressed here, I can tell you the honest truth. I am a social housing practitioner. I developed the policy for social housing in this city as the first people were appointed, myself and Matebo, who did Warmer Heights and Fairview. We planned that. The intention for that, we wanted to put Warmer Heights close to Warmer, to integrate the affluent Warmer Heights, Warmer, and also the mid. We've done that. It is our commitment to do that. Therefore, when the DA governs, we don't look into a color of skin. We serve all. We don't represent black people who look like me only like this party. We have colored councillors. The majority of our councillors are colored.
So you take care of
white
the northern suburbs.
We have Indian councillors, we have white councillors. This is the only party that represents the broader representation of South Africa. A new vision of South Africa. It's
all right.
The last one, let me come to your point. I thank God. I'm a Christian. I thank God for saving my life. I've paid condolences. And I'm not apologetic that God saved me. And because God saved me and I've paid condolences to the families, I'm heartbroken with what happened to those families. The investigation is on the table with the police because they think they are God. They have already concluded that I was guilty. And I can tell you, the time is coming.
All right. Please. I'll come to you. You are not drunk. Just give me a straightforward
Not
answer.
at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Your time?
JJ, what you're seeing here is a reflection of every corner in Nelson Mandela. That anger that
guys,
you see there, JJ,
please, order.
is a reflection that our people have. The lady of the Patriotic Alliance, what she's raising is the question of an indigent program and policy called Assistance to the Poor, which was introduced by the ANC as an intervention to insulate poor households. But what has happened under the DA? They have since cut electricity. She's not lying. You go to Youth Town Hall, it is like 1994. You go to City Treasure, it is like 1994. Our people are subjected to paying 350 rand reconnection fees based on a fundamentally flawed system introduced by the DA. Because when you assess a household, you assess and profile a household, not what you see outside that it's face bricked and therefore this is the value of the property. But they do not do that. They do not have systems. That's what the experts are asking. This city is MSCOA non-compliant. Hence then we're unable to have proper mechanisms to move closer to the question to say, what is it then you will do to deal with the question of corruption? It becomes
answer. The prof is saying, what are you going to do specifically? Give me one thing you're going to do.
The question of MSCOA, which continues to be raised as a query by or a finding by the Auditor General. Because you must have systems in order to ensure that there is proper accountability and oversight. That is the first issue. The second issue...
When you were in charge as the
when we're in charge...
when you were in charge before, did you have put that system in place?
There was a process in relation to implementation of that system. You would remember The question of MSCOA was as imposed by a policy adopted by national government and particularly national treasury. So you go back to when Denny Jordan was mayor. There was a company which was appointed to deal with that particular implementation. When they came into power, they did away, interfered into the administration and destabilized the city. That's why, JJ, 2 weeks ago, you know, there was an article on the Herald that there's no proper fueling system. There's a collapse of systems and a manifestation of a collapse of service delivery, which is what we will do differently.
You'll fix it.
No. Let me come to the point, JJ. You know, Ngaba's accident. Robots not work in the city. There's no single functioning robot. There are no CCTV cameras.
That's why he had an accident.
We don't know. Maybe the robot was off. I can't comment on his state of mind that he was in. But there are no CCTV cameras. That's why there's no account
of what happened.
Let's leave it there. It's a direct manifestation of collapse of service delivery.
Okay. Gusta?
Professor, maybe I need to just spend a little time on this issue of crime. And the role of the municipality in that. The municipality has a responsibility to protect the public facilities, all of them, as you hear now, because there is a breakdown in systems under the leadership of the two parties. As a result, this has just escalated in the last. Honorable Ngaba is on his second term as a mayor now, but but you know, that's a fact. The man was elected and he was kicked out and he came back again, whatever. I don't know how he was kicked out. But my point is this. Many years ago, I went to New York, all right? And I saw the state of New York. It was scary. It was scary. So to sort that out, you got a man that came with a plan. And that plan was to make sure that New York is safe first. That safety you talk about is a collaboration between the South African legitimate law enforcement together with a well-structured, well-equipped, motivated, and very loyal security or police force of the municipality that will work in conjunction with these security sectors that I'm talking about, together with the buy-in, which Kuster Jack is very good
Big
at,
idea on corruption.
The masses.
How do you,
corruption?
How do you sort out corruption?
No. When it comes to corruption, that's where Kuster Jack will be as hard as a nail, because I do not tolerate corruption. My friends, they know. When they elected the first president that I smelled corruption with him, I left a glorious movement because I was scared of the corruption that he was bringing. Look where we are. A disappointing thing. The disappointing thing is these people in the green. Especially at Nelson Mandela. You see, the DA, people like me who are fair, they do give it the benefit of the doubt on liberalism or whatever they talk about. But when they break that, it's scary. The talk that my friend did not answer now to you, it boils down to the issue of integrity. The DA have been calling upon the ANC never to hide behind innocence before. Guilty. Now, they tell us about investigation. No, I can't if you are a public representative, if you are a mayor, if you are that. You owe the people a straight answer. What happened on the evening? Where were you going? Who were you? That is what is needed. Now, I'm not fighting with my friend here, but I'm saying that DA for the leader of that party to come and babysit our brother here for the sake of trying to sweep this thing under the carpet. So he's not going to work.
He should resign. He should have resigned.
He should resign. Helen Zille came down. Helen Zille has been the paragon of morality. Now he comes here at the time. These elections, professors, it's about the character of the people who want to lead our people.
All right.
We're fed up of the idea that we're God-given people by big branded parties with monies that comes from other people.
All right.
That is what we are about
Okay,
here.
we're gonna
The
have to leave it
character
there.
of the individuals who will lead this metro. That's what the voters must look at
All
now.
right,
All the problem you talk about cannot be solved unless we get that right. The
Okay.
time has come that the South African voter choose people on the basis, first of all, of character.
All right, let's leave it there. It's heated, it's heated. The big issue is politicians always promise they're going to fight corruption, right? Can you tell me something believable of what you will do if you came into office on corruption? Answer the professor's question.
Okay. The issue of corruption.
Okay, guys, please, let's be silent a bit.
If you look what is actually happening in South Africa,
Yeah.
you find the procurement divisions being headed by the officials. And the bulk always remains with them because they are the signatories of those tenders. But you always find politicians being the ones that actually getting the kickbacks. And all the officials are always taken to court. But what becomes now a trend
As
in
a
South
scapegoat.
Africa, as a scapegoat,
Yeah.
what becomes now a trend in South Africa, that all politicians, when they're implicated in the corruption, what they do, they always want to go for review. And now, because that they know, like somehow, like even if like there is no legal a point in which the person is actually going for a review, but like they will always delay the process. What we are going to do,
yes, please,
we need to ensure like that we actually head down straight to the officials to actually advise them first that once you actually involve into corruption, and we will explain all of this, and we'll take all these cases and everything to try to explain to the people of the Nelson Mandela, do not steal, because you are going to be the scapegoat and you will be the only victim, because like your signature will be there. We will practice, like ensure that, but should we find that the person, and the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to open up a line that will actually go to the mayor's office.
Another hotline.
That will go direct. I want a line that comes to me directly.
Like the one that went to Zuma.
I want it that it must come to me directly. I don't want the person to tell me that like so and so we have done this. I want evidence. Once I actually have evidence, I am going to act. I will make sure that I'm taking all the processes to make sure that like this person is
Let's
fired.
pause it there. Let's pause it there. Representative Cope, they're telling us going to have a hotline in his office and answer your calls when he becomes mayor. Let's take a break. After the break, we could take a last round of comments from the public, as well as get some closing statements from each of the candidates. What are they going to do about issues that are of an issue to you? There's violence in the city. There's all kinds of things that seems to bother the citizens of the city. Let's take a break now.
Kabeja tonight, thank you very much for staying with us here on ENCA. And tonight we're here talking about the future of the Nelson Mandela Bay. A few final comments from some of the audience members. Introduce yourself quickly. Tell me quickly how you see the future of the city.
I'm Pastor Samuel Davids, and with the panelists on top,
Yeah.
I cannot in good conscience ask them any question. There's
All
nothing-
of them?
No, I cannot ask them a question.
Hopeless
I would rather want to hear from the new kid on the block from the Northern Alliance,
Yeah.
the candidate, to ask what is the plans for the future of the city.
All right, thank you very much. Sir, your name? No, don't touch.
Sorry, Jaja. My name is Gary Kukumo. I'm a volunteer at AIM and a resident of the city. I'm interested, we've seen the chaos between the two parties arguing for majority rule. You know, they want majority rule back. Interesting that one of them calls themselves democratic, but that beside it.
You don't want majority rule?
We want the residents to rule.
All right.
We want residents' interest first, not someone sitting in Johannesburg or Cape Town ruling
Calling
and
the
sitting,
shots,
playing soccer with the city.
Yeah.
We're tired of that. That's why residents have stood up and.
Is this in reference to Jordan? You say playing soccer with the city?
It's, I think it's more in reference to the own goals that some of these parties they score. But what I'm interested in is why is AIM the only party talking about environmental issues? Why is AIM the only party up there talking about the potential of the city? Everyone else is, I mean, the city is broken, we know that. But no one there is talking about the potential or how you get out of this thing. Because, you know, and the environment that we have, we don't have a Table Mountain, but we have a fantastic bay.
Absolutely.
We have potential in the city that's unfounded. Yet none of those parties except AIM are talking about that.
Right.
Why is that?
Let's aim higher. Let's aim higher for the environment.
Nokolo Gogo, I have a question for all panelists actually. Comrade Luyolo Ngakola, political power is one thing and we will take over the city hall. But how are we going to actually deal with the second rot that Professor Butlung was talking about? The administration that exists in city hall. We see candidates, Bason, who are top managers now in city hall. How are we going to clean that rot? And then just for sake of, you know, participation for COPE, what happened to Siyasanga, that one rep that they had that is now a DA member? Thank you.
Okay, all right, Siyasanga, what happened to him or her?
Oh, thank you. My name is Vyoka Zikwam. I'm a student at Nelson Mandela University. My question is directed to Comrade Luyolo Ngakula from the ANC. And with relation what you had raised.
It's a sweetheart question. You're asking your own people.
No. In relation with what you have raised of the taxi in the war.
Taxi war,
at Coston. I want to know, because it's not the first time that the taxi association has held Kabeja hostage. They have bent into, they have bent everywhere, and the city becomes at a standstill. Now there's a war with the foreign nationals. I want to know, and the area which they were fighting Coston, there's a residence there of students. And the students' lives might be in danger if they want to hold it hostage again. Now my question is, how are we going to deal with this taxi violence and them always holding us hostage? The last time I know you intervened, but if this goes on and they want to be paid out for the 15 taxis that were burnt by the foreign nationals, which by the way, the taxi industry as well burnt the cars of the Uber drivers, which are foreign nationals. How does the ANC plan to deal with it? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to the audience members. Truly fantastic inputs there. Guys, unfortunately we've run out of time, but now convince us now in 30 seconds, your closing remark. Let's start with you, Cope. 30 seconds.
Congress of the People is actually focusing on developing the economy and the participation of the people at large.
Okay.
So it becomes very important, for example, like we are going to make sure that like the issue of crime, we were actually taken too much about the issue, what actually happened in because like you can't have like people like carrying the R5s and all that stuff. Like, I mean, like it means that like there is no intelligence in South Africa. So like we want to make sure that
the
like,
economy and crime, those are your big ideas. What's your big idea? In 30 seconds, quickly, Prakusta.
Yes, our biggest thing that we're going to do, like I said, is just to see to it that we clean up the administration.
Yes.
Professionalize the metro and make sure that the people who get employed are people fitting the job they are employed to, and they're going to do what they are employed for. And we will not victimize anyone. People can be whatever they are, because that's how I conduct myself in the private world. If you do your work, according to specification, I have no problem. I don't mind what you dress, whether you put a whose t-shirt or what you say, for as long as you deliver. That is how we are going to make sure that service delivery happens here.
Mayor, your last word.
The people have only one choice to choose between the DA and the ANC. And I can tell you that the DA have
silence.
The DA have a good track record of good governance. Where we govern better.
All right,
we
Mayor.
deliver services to
Thank
the people.
you.
Where the ANC govern, it breaks things.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Get better. ANC, you for the last word.
JJ, what has been exposed to residents of Nelson
30
Mandela?
seconds.
What has been exposed to residents of Nelson Mandela, JJ, is that all of these parties do not have an iota of understanding of the objects of local government, will build social contracts, will deal with the question of infrastructure, aging infrastructure and decaying infrastructure, municipal facilities, will bring catalytic investment into the city in order to militate an environment of a properly defined, not only economic but developmental trajectory, which will create jobs, stabilize the city, not what Prakusta, Ngaba and them are saying, which is not within the context and the defiance of local government.
Thank you very much.
Vote ANC.
Okay, Prof, briefly, your remark, what do you think? Final remark, quickly.
Final remark. I think we need to take cognizance, and particularly the gentlemen contesting the election need to take cognizance of the fact that a lot of these things hang together. A lot of these things can't easily be separated. So the issue of crumbling and broken infrastructure, of general lack of maintenance, might seem not quite as important, but they underpin other issues such as crime. Just the other day, in one of our townships, there was an article on page 5 of the local newspaper, page 5, where 15 people were killed execution style in 48 hours. It only made page 5.
Let's leave it on that grim note, Prof.
We need to deal with these things.
Let's leave it on. Give you a round of applause for everyone. You have heard what the candidates had to say tonight about the future of Gqeberha, the future of the Nelson Mandela Bay. Do you believe them? Do you think they are credible? Do you think they can do this or not? It's up to you to decide, South Africa. The 1st of November is a moment of truth, and it's up to you to exercise that power. But until we talk frankly again, may God bless you.
Shine on, shine on, turn our faces to the sun. Shine on, shine on. We took a slow road to the top.